Who is the founder of C language? Yes, put it in chat box. Who is the founder? Remember? Anyone? Did anyone remember? Yes, very good, Sneha. I'm a very good. Yes, ready. Good. So you remembered the name, Dennis Ritchie. So he was he was there in the development of the B language earlier. Later modified version is C language, and it was developed at Cambridge University at Bell Laboratories. So not only it was developed along with the team. Okay, a group of members will be there who develop the C language, and they developed the C language, which is a high-level language, and the purpose is to have the flexibility with the programmers. Okay, so it should be like very much user friendly, and using C language they have developed operating systems like Unix and MS-DOS operating systems they have developed, and a few other later all the computer professionals got attracted with the C language, all the professionals. Then they have also done so many experiments on C language, and it was used in commercial purpose also. Later in the electronic applications like set-top box in all those applications, it was used C language, and in design of few game applications, gaming, and the C language was used. Even now we are using C language in certain applications, even though we got advanced programming languages like C++, C Sharp, and Java, Python, very advanced languages. For all these languages, the core and fundamental language is C language, but it has its own application in few categories, right? So I'll get to those details also in my upcoming sessions where we are using C language, and all the details application wise I will tell. So before you understand those applications, you must know the fundamental language. This is C language, and I already told you yesterday itself. C language is very important, because if you become somewhat good at C language, it becomes very easy for you to understand other high level languages like C++, Java, Python, all these languages. I think the Python sessions we were attending. So if you want to understand in a deeper way other languages, C language is compulsory. So it's like a foundation for the programming languages. And another thing is, this is very important for you in future career, because as you are from the electronics background, whatever it means the branch, fundamental electronics. So electronics background, definitely the C language is expected by the interviewers. You attend any company, either it may be embedded systems related company or maybe software company, anything. So definitely they focus on two things. One is your project, and another is whether you know the C language programming. So they'll ask questions from the C language, like fundamental questions. If you could answer those questions, then definitely they think that you know something about C language, and they assume that if you are given training, definitely you can work for the company. So that means you will be selected for the company. So that's another advantage. So the third advantage is when you join engineering college, all other students are already aware of the C language, because you join second year we will not have a C language subject. So what happens, all other students will have the knowledge of the C language, but you will not have. So by the time when you attend the placement, so you face very difficulty, because you don't know C language. So it happened with so many students, I know that. So that's why As a part of industrial training, you keep more focus and concentration in learning the C language because we are going to cover all the fundamentals and foundation will be there in the programming language. Okay, so there are so many benefits. You will not understand at this moment. You will understand in future. So definitely my words you will recollect. Okay, so let's start the sessions. For today's sessions, again we'll continue the fundamentals. So I'm sharing my screen. So before I continue, uh, further topics in C language, I want to show you the yesterday what we have discussed. So have shown you the Turbo C++. You know this Turbo C++ you can download, okay, from the internet. Okay, it is free source. It is available in the internet. Directly you search Turbo C++ download. So directly you can download from the internet and install. Okay. Alright, I will explain once again the syntax of the C program, okay, which is very important. So that's why I always don't join in between. Okay. So the syntax for C language that you can see on the screen. Okay, so like it's a syntax, syntax for syntax like the syntax of C program. Okay, so what is the syntax for C program? This is the syntax. What you see. So what is the meaning of syntax? Syntax means what are the rules you need to follow to write any program. Okay, that is the thing of syntax. Okay, so whatever it may be the programming language, like it may be Java language, C language, whatever it may be the language. But remember that syntax, the meaning of syntax is same for all the programming languages. Okay, so syntax means what are the rules and regulations you have to follow to write any program. That is nothing but C language. So what are the rules? For example, if you look at the C program, this is the syntax. So the meaning, the first and the foremost instruction in the C programming language, it starts with #include stdio.h. So what is the meaning of #include? So it is a syntax in C program. #include means you are including a file name. The meaning of the #include is you are including a file name. So to include any file name, so the prefix should be #. # is the symbol. So #include and the file name is stdio.h. So stdio.h is what? It's a header file. I told you that it's a file name, but what kind of file? There are so many files in the C compiler, in the software. Okay. So what kind of file is this? This is a header file. So what is the meaning of header file? Header file is nothing but it's like a you will create new files and you say something in the file in your computer, right? You all know that so many times we create the new folders, and in the new folders we store something like images, videos, documents, whatever it may be. But definitely we give the new folder, instead of that we will give new name. We will rename that. Now we call that as a file. Similarly, those kind of files will be there inside the C compiler. So there are so many files. Okay, depending on the application or entire the strength of the C language, it's very high level. There are so many files inside the C program, C compiler. So one file we are talking about is stdio.h. So std means what? Std is nothing but standard. It's a short form for standard. IO is nothing but input output. Dot h is nothing but it's an extension to indicate that it's a header file. So similarly, you have the conio.h. It is also has a file name, and it is of type header file. That's why we have written extension .h. And its importance is certain mathematical operations and certain special functions, like you can see clear screen and get characters, will be there inside the conio.h header file. So these two header files must be included before you start the main function. So if you don't include these functions, these header files, you cannot use. Just a second. Okay. You cannot use these functions like input and output functions, and so we cannot use input output functions and special functions like clear screen and get characters. These things cannot be used if you don't include these header files. So after including these two header files, and the very important thing here is main function. Main function is very important. Okay, and the main is called function. I already told you that in C language everything is treated as a blocks of functions. Okay, it's a group of functions. So group of functions make together one program. Okay, you all know that set of instructions is nothing but program, right? But in C language, and specifically we call it as a functions. Group of functions put together makes one program, and that one program is a C program. Okay, so that's why C language is nothing but POP. It's called in short form POP. POP is nothing but procedure oriented programming language. Okay, POP is nothing but procedure oriented programming. Okay, this is the full form of POP. So C language is a POP, Java is a OOP. OOPS means object oriented programming language. Okay. So as what is the meaning of a procedure in your microcontroller terminology? Procedures are nothing but subprograms, subroutines, IO programs. That means from the main program, the microcontroller will jump to the subprograms or subroutines, and it will continue the process. And it's like an interrupt to the microcontroller. So it will attend the interrupt program and it will come back to the main program. So this particular interrupt program or subroutines or IO programs, subprograms or procedures, all are same. So that is the terminology in the microcontroller. Okay, but the terminology in the C language is a procedure oriented, and the procedure in high level it is called functions. So it's a functional oriented programming language. So here you can see that we have one function here in this program. In the example that you are seeing on the screen, this is one function. And what is its function called? It's called the main function. Okay, just don't bother about what is this void for time being. You'll understand all these things in the future. So for time being, remember that this is one function. So this entire program is made up of multiple functions, but sometimes a program may have one function or more than one functions. Multiple functions are possible, but definitely one function is mandatory. Without having at least one function, there could not be C program. Okay, and what is that at least one function? That function by default it is called main function. That means without main function there is no C program. This is compulsory. Okay, so every C program must have one function at least, and that one function at least should be main function. It can have more than one function, like multiple functions, and they are called user defined functions. It may be anything else. So but the default function is main function. Now what is the program here? So I know that main function is compulsory. I have written main function. Now what is the syntax to write main function? Just write main, open and close the bracket, and open the flower bracket, close at the end of the program with the cloud bracket. So this is main function loop. Okay. Now I have written clear screen. This is only for Turbo C++ requirement. And what is the program we are writing? Addition of two numbers, like add 1 and 2. Now I want to add, let's say, 10 and 20. For example, I have taken not 1 and 2 as 10 and 20. Now 10 and 20, if you want to add, you cannot add 10 and 20 directly. It's not possible. Okay, you cannot add 10 and 20 directly. So what you could do? What I will do? I'll take 10 in variable A and I'll take 20 in variable B. Okay. Now you may get the doubt. So why I have taken A and B only? Why can't I take anything else? It's your choice. There is no mandatory here. You take XY, you take PQ, you take your name and your friend name and save it as store with constants like 10 and 20. You can take any alphabets, no problem in that. Okay. You can take alphabets, you can take characters, you can take group of characters also together. You can take words. You can take, here I can write Sharma equal to 10. It's possible. Okay. So don't think that why I have taken A and B, and it's not mandatory to take only A and B. You must take something called as variables, but you can take anything. Okay. But the importance here is, and requirement is, you can take any variables here, but the thing here is C language, C compiler knows so many types of data. Like it knows integers, it knows float date type of data like decimal numbers, it knows characters like your alphabets, it knows strings like group of characters, it knows bytes, it knows long int, short int, double, that means large length of the decimal numbers. So it knows so many varieties of data. But when you are using any kind of data, any number, if you don't mention about what type of data you are using in your program, okay, that means it must be mentioned by the programmer itself. If you don't mention, then C compiler will get the confusion. It cannot understand what type of data you are using. So when it cannot understand what type of data you are using, then definitely it will give you an error. Okay, so that's why I have taken 10 and 20, and I know as a programmer these 10 and 20 are nothing but integers. So what are integers? All the negative numbers, all the positive numbers, and nothing but integers. Okay, so minus 1 to infinity, minus infinity, and plus 1 to plus infinity, all are integers. So I know that 10 and 20 are integers. So that's why I will declare, this is not this particular field is for declaration. Now I will declare A and B as integer, int. So I have declared A as integer, and this is called assignment. Single equal is called is an assignment. I have assigned value 10 to the variable A, and I have taken B, and I have assigned the constant 20 to the variable B, and I have taken one more variable called C, but I did not assign anything because I want to use C variable for other purpose, like to store the result. That's why I have not I have not assigned any value. Now at the end of the instruction, put the semicolon. This is for compulsory. Okay. So this is syntax. Now all the variables are declared, assigned values, and one variable is not assigned. So go to next instruction. Next instruction is what? I know that I want result in C variable. Now I have taken C is equal to A plus B because I am going for addition operation and I have taken A plus B. Now what if I take minus? Could I take minus? Yes. You can take any mathematical operation or logical operation. Anything you can take. Any arithmetical and logical operations are possible here. So A plus B. I have taken A plus B. Now I know that my result is present in C. Okay, my result is present in C. So I want to get the output. I want output on the output console. On the screen, I should get the output. No, you have seen yesterday a black screen is appearing. That particular black screen in C programming, that is in the turbo sequence, is called console screen. Okay, output console. Every programming language will have the output console where you can see, the programmer can see the output. After writing the program, after executing, compile and execution, and we can see the output on the console. So, to see the output on the console, you need to write the output function. Okay, this is the output function. So this is output function. Okay. And one more thing is here, what is the importance of percentile D? Percentile D is for integers. Okay. Now if I write percentile F is for float. Okay, it's for float data. What kind of data you are using, depending on that, you have to use percentile D or percentile F. Now what is this percentile D or percentile F is indicating? Actually, it is indicating that there is a variable which is holding a result. This variable will have a certain address in the memory. So to point to that address which is present in the memory, so that we can retrieve the data present at the address indicated or holded by the C variable. Now to point to the address of the memory, we need to have the write this like this, percentile D, especially to point to the result, like value. Okay, if you want to point to the address, then we need to write the ampersand symbol. We will come to that one later. Okay, now if I compile this one, will I get 0 errors, 0 warnings? Yes, 0 errors, 0 warnings. Now let me show you. I will not declare as integers. Now see what happens. I have 3 errors because I have not declared. I got 3 errors. What are the 3 errors? Undefined symbol A, undefined symbol B, undefined symbol C. That means I am using A, B, C, but they are not defined. That means I have not declared. Okay. So to remove the error, I need to write integer here. Okay. I have to write integer here and compile once again. Okay, no problem, no errors, no warnings. Then go to run. Now I got the output answer 30. Okay, I got output answer 30. Yes. Is it clear? If you want, you can take the screenshot now itself. Okay, we will further go into the next topic. Now let's discuss more about other topics related to C. Okay, now you can see on the screen, these are the elements of the C program. Now what are those? First is C character set. In the C character sets, you have alphabets like A, B, C up to Z, small letters also. In C program, capital letters, it's a case sensitive. That means capital alphabets and small alphabets are treated as separate. It's not same. If you use capital A, it's different. If you use small a, it's different. And the digits 0 to 9, all the decimal numbers you can use. And another elements. Now what are the first elements? What are the first types of elements in C? Character set. Remember, character set is the first kind of elements in C. Second elements are escape sequences. See here. Now these are escape sequences. Now what is the use of escape sequences? Okay. And the practical use I will show you in the program. But meanwhile, look at the table here. How many are there here? 3, 6, 7 are there. Okay. Now what are these indicates? /B backspace, /A bell, /R carriage return, /N new line, /0 null, /T horizontal tab, double slash, which is backslash. Now what happens? Now when I put /B anywhere, like mostly we put it in the printf. Okay, in the printf and scanf functions, we'll use these escape sequences. Now if I put /B Now what happens? Moves the cursor to the previous position of the current line. Okay, slash p is like a backspace. Now what happens when you press a backspace on your keyboard? The same thing, because on the output console you will not have the provision to press the backspace from the keyboard, or if you want to have the backspace automatically without pressing the backspace button on the keyboard, then it's not possible to give from the keyboard. That's why this escape sequence is there, like slash b. Now if I put slash b in my output console, I want my cursor to go to the previous position, then I give slash b. Now if I give slash a, it will produce a beep sound. Okay, from your computer you will get the beep sound, like an alarm, like alert. Okay, slash r is nothing but carriage region, moves the cursor to the beginning of the current line. Now wherever the cursor is already in the present position, okay, it will move the beginning, it will move the cursor to the beginning position. Slash n is nothing but new line, it will move the cursor to the beginning of the next line. Now for example, I have displayed one result. Now after displaying the first result, and I want the cursor to move to the next line, beginning of the next line. For example, I want to display two results. Now if I display two results, what happens? The two results will come adjacent to each other. So instead of that, I will print the output one result in one line, and I want to print another result in the next line, not in the same line. Now once when I return printf function, I will write in such a way that I will write slash n. When I write slash n for the first output result, then for the next output, before it prints the next output, it will jump to the next line. Okay, beginning of the next line. So that is the importance of new line. That means you can have the output results in different lines. Okay. Now what is slash 0? Which is nothing but null. Null means null operator. Okay, it will not do anything. Right? Slash p here, horizontal tab, moves the cursor to the next horizontal tab position. Now when you press the tab on your keyboard, whatever happens, same thing here. Double slash, backslash, presents a character with backslash. Now if you want to have the backslash for a character, then you need to put the double slash here, double slash in the program. Right, now what is the next third element, third type of elements in C are keywords are reservoirs. I already told you yesterday that there are 32 keywords. There are 32 keywords in the C. Now what are these 32 keywords? These are this one. See, auto, default, float, register, struct, volatile. Break, do, for, return, switch, while. Case, double, go to, short, type define. Char, else, if, signed, union. Constant, enum, integer, size of unsigned. Continue, extern, long, static, void. Now what are these words? Okay, actually you need not remember all these keywords, but if you remember, it's well and good. But the thing here is okay, so the thing here is you need to remember at least a few of these which are very important and which are very frequently used. I will mention those. Very frequently we use float, okay, break, do, for, return, switch, while, case, double, go to, short, char, else, if, signed, union, next int, unsigned, continue, long, void. Okay, so out of 32, I think around 20 are most frequently used. Okay, I'm not saying that others keywords are not used. Okay, we'll use those keywords also, but most frequently the keywords which I have mentioned just now are used. Now what are these keywords? What do I mean by these keywords? So keywords are also called reserved words. Remember, okay, very important. Another name for keywords is reserved words. So what does mean by keywords are reserved words? Now keywords are reserved words means these are the special words which are defined in the C programming language, and they are meant to do certain tasks. That means these keywords are predefined in the C programming language. That means when a C program, that is software or compiler, is designed, these particular words have the inbuilt meaning, predefined meaning. That means in whichever way the meaning is given to these words, we have to use in that way only. Let me give one example. For example, you look at the int. Int is a keyword. Now I cannot use int as a variable. I cannot use int to store some value. Okay. So because this is a keyword. Now what is the importance of this int? To declare any data, to declare any variable, I have to use int. Because it's a keyword, it's a reserved word. So there is a predefined meaning in the C programming language about the integer. Got my point? So you cannot use int as a variable. For example, you want to save number 10, how we have saved number 10 in variable a in our earlier example. We have saved int a equal to 10. That means the value of 10 is assigned to variable a. That's what I have done. But can you do like int equal to 10? Int equal to 10. Now 10, you want to save or store the value 10 in the variable int. It's absolutely wrong. You cannot use int as a variable. Could you use if here? No. You could use float? No. You cannot use any of these variables or any of these keywords as your variables. But where do you use these keywords? You have to use these keywords wherever they are required, and that too they have the special meaning. Okay, for example, int I have to use to declare the variables as an integer. I have to use float to declare any variable as a float data type. I have to use this break to break the statement, to change the sequence of execution. Now this is nothing but keywords are reserved words, right? Is it clear? Next, another type, another elements in C are nothing but identifiers. What are identifiers? All words that we use in our C programs will be either keywords or identifiers. Now, except keywords, whatever you use in C program, all other words, maybe your name, maybe your variables, or maybe your constants, all remaining characters, every other words comes under the category of identifiers. Okay, so except keywords. That means you can see only two things in C program. You may see either keywords or may identifiers. All variables, constants, everything comes under identifiers. And the keywords you have already seen earlier. Okay, only two things you will see. So keywords are predefined and can't be used by the user, while identifiers are user-defined words and are used to give names to entities like variables, arrays, functions, structures, etc. That means identifiers are those words which can be used by the user. That's why user-defined words. So to whom you use? So these are used for variables. These identifiers are used for arrays, functions, structures, etc. Okay, all these things we learn. Okay, in upcoming sessions. Don't bother. What are variables? What are arrays? What are functions? What are structures? All these things we will cover. So before that, you need to understand what are the rules, which are very important before you use any identifier. Okay, so if you want to use any identifier, you must follow these rules. Okay, if you break these rules, definitely you will get the error in the program. So what are the rules? Rule number 1. The name should consist only alphabets, digits and underscore. Okay. If you want to use anything as a variable, as an identifier, for example, you want to use your own name, like Industech, like our company name Industech, I want to use in C program. Can I use? Yes, of course I can use. But what is the rule? I have to use like this. Industech, I can use. The second word I can use is Industech 123. It is also correct. Third example, uh, Industech underscore 123. It is also correct. Okay. So all are correct. But what is not correct? Industech @123 is wrong. Because special characters except underscore are not allowed. Okay. Can I use hash symbol? No. Can I use dollar symbol? No. Can I use exclamatory mark? No. I cannot use all these things except underscore. You don't have any other provision. You can use alphabets. You can use digits from 0 to 9. Then only one special character, that is underscore. This is rule number 1. What is rule number 2? First character should be an alphabet or underscore. Okay. The first character should be an alphabet or underscore. That means I can have underscore Industech, or I can have Industech underscore 123. But can I have like 123 and Industech? It's wrong, because the first character should be either alphabet or an underscore. It shouldn't be digits. Right. This is rule number 2. What is rule number 3? The name should not be a keyword. Obviously, I already told you that the variables which are using identifiers which are using, they shouldn't be keywords. You cannot use int, int, you cannot use float, you cannot use double, you cannot use char. All these are keywords you cannot use. So that is rule number 3. Rule number 4. C is case sensitive. That means I already told this point also. Uppercase and lowercase are considered different. For example, CODE code, capital CODE code, and all capital letters CODE code. All these three are three different identifiers. Okay, all these are treated by the C compiler differently. This is rule number 4. What is rule number 5? An identifier name may be arbitrarily long. Some implementations of C recognize only the first 8 characters, though most implementations recognize 31 characters. That means you can have any length of the variable. Yes, you can have any length of the variable, but the thing here is, what is the size of the variable you have to use? What is the size of the identifier? It depends on the data type, that is for sure. And the first 8 characters are remembered by the most of the C compilers, but nowadays up to 31 characters are also recognized. Okay, so this is rule number 5. That means how many characters you have to use in a variable. So most of the time, make all your words short. Okay, up to 8 characters it's allowed. Right. See the example here. Value with the capital V is a correct identifier. That means valid. Only just one alphabet A is a valid identifier. Net underscore pay, net pay is a valid. REC1, recurring order, something like that. REC1. REC1 is also valid. Underscore data, it is also valid. Marks in capital letters, it is also valid identifier. Now what are invalid? See, 5BC, it's invalid because first character should be alphabet or underscore. But what is there in this example? Number. Number is not allowed in the first character in the identifier. Int, you cannot use int because it's a keyword. REC hash, you should not use this word also because the hash is a special character. Except underscore, remaining all the special characters are not allowed as an identifier. ABG, okay, no blank space is not permitted. No, between the variables also you should not allow any blank space. Right. So this is the fourth elements in the C program. What is the fifth element? Fifth elements are nothing but data types. What are the data type? Data type means what? That means when you declare any variable, data type is very important. That means what type of data you are using in your program. Like whether you are using integers, are you using float type, are you using double, are you using characters, what type of data you are using in your program. So it must be known to the programmer itself. Okay, C compiler will not know what type of data you are using. It knows all the data types. It can understand. But you need to mention what kind of data you are using in your program. So if you want to mention what type of data you are using, then definitely you must know what are the types of data are there. What are the types of data that the C knows and C can understand. So look at this table. So these are the different data types that C can understand. One is character, char char, integers, int int. Okay, in integers different types are there, like unsigned int, signed int, right? Then short int, unsigned short int, long int, unsigned long int. These are the different types of within integers. Now the last column you can see, or last button column, you can see what is the size of the data type. You need to know the size also, very important. Character can hold 1 byte, integer can hold 4 bytes. That means when you declare any variable as an integer, 4 bytes of memory is reserved for that particular variable. Okay, memory space, 4 bytes of memory space is reserved in the memory. This is very important. Depending on the type of data you are declaring in the program, it will reserve that much size. Okay, so when you declare as a character, it will reserve only 1 byte. 1 byte will be stored in the memory by one character. When you declare as integer, int, then it will reserve 4 bytes. 4 bytes means 32 bits. Okay, so all these are 4 bytes only. Unsigned short int is only 2 bytes. Now look at the float. Float also 4 bytes. What is the importance of float? Float is used when you want to use decimal numbers like 1.2, okay, 2.5, like this. You want to use decimal numbers, then you have to use data type float. Then double. Double is also float type only. Both are same. But double is long size. 8 bytes of memory is reserved in the memory space is reserved in the memory. Okay, 8 bytes. For long double, 10 bytes. Okay, so these are the different data types you have to use in C program. So I'll give some time to take the screenshot. Okay, just take the screenshots, everyone. Okay, now I'll tell you what to write here. Okay, in your notebook, see here. Elements, digits, are not what. Okay, so put the heading as escape sequences. In the escape sequences, you write down this /n, /0, /t, okay, double slash. Write down only last 4. Right. Next, keep the heading reserved words and write this statement, this paragraph. Okay, and write down these keywords, 32 keywords, very important. Okay. Then next, keep the heading identifiers and write down rules. Okay, these 5 rules you write with examples. Okay, right. Next, in the data types, you just write down this table. In this table also, don't write everything. Just write character, integer, float, double. These 4. Just you write these 4. Enough. Okay, don't write the entire table. Now this is assignment for you. Now what is assignment? Yesterday I told you. Now the previous sessions I told you last week regarding microcontroller. To write down the features of microcontroller, draw the pin diagram, and mention all the pins. That is one assignment. And yesterday also I told you, I have shown you the history. In the history also I told you what to write. Okay, certain paragraph. And today I told you. Now these 3 you need to submit by this weekend. Okay, what you have to do? You need to write down on your notebook and take the scan copies and generate, make it as a PDF file and submit to the mail ID. Okay, we'll mention what you to which mail you need to submit it. Okay, so submit that those PDF files to the mail ID. This is your assignment for this week. Okay, and not only this these soft copies, when you come to the training you need to submit your uh, hard copy also. We'll look at your notes also, right? That is also compulsory, right? So very simple things we are giving, and every day, whenever the session is completed, immediately if you take action and you complete your assignment, very easily you could do, so that you score better marks in the assessments, right? So this is, once again I'm telling you, it is very serious for you, because assessments are very important. Assessments, to decide the marks for assessments, there are so many factors like attendance, there are so many. So in that, assignments are very important. Okay, so any doubts, anyone?